You know, it took me a little bit to come up with what to say. So here's what it is. Everybody has shortcomings. Everybody hits that wall. Everybody has their own demons. But nobody's gonna feel sorry for you. If you truly want something, you just have to shut up and put in the work.
Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Books and Biceps. I have more of the questions that were submitted from Vee Views YouTube channel, from Vee's channel. So we answered some of them on the Anytime Fitness live Q&A this past week. I am going to answer those on here as well. So if you guys didn't have access to that, you will get those questions answered. This is the second video from the one submitted. So I'm going to probably do one more after this one, and that should be it for all of the questions that Vee gave to me. So in any of these videos, if you come up with another question that pops in your head that you want answered, go ahead and comment it below and I'll answer it in the next video. And I'm going to continue doing the Books and Biceps series after I finish these questions. So feel free to comment on any of the videos and ask me a question and I'll get it answered for you. So we'll go on to the first question. What can I do to tighten my core after a C-section? I'm also going to add the next following question to this is, if I have excess skin in my stomach area, would getting toned help that? So when a lot of people lose weight, excessive amounts of weight, really quickly, they tend to get loose skin. It even happens when it doesn't happen quickly. So loose skin is really common now because a lot of people are actually getting more into fitness and losing that excess weight. So what you want to steer away from is losing weight too quickly. So when you lose weight too quickly, you're more than likely going to have that loose skin. But if you lose it correctly, the way I'm going to tell you here in a second, you can prevent that. So usually when I'm working with somebody who's trying to lose an excessive amount of weight, you don't just want to throw them on a cardio machine and have them go till they pass out. You want to introduce resistance training on top of that. You want to build that muscle mass underneath of that fat and that skin, and allow your metabolism to kind of kickstart back up. And once you lose that fat, you're gonna have that mass underneath the skin and it won't be as loose. So make sure you're working on building your lean mass on top of losing weight. That will prevent any excess skin, the loose skin. So if you're in that situation where you already have loose skin, focusing on increasing your muscle mass now would actually help that as well. So in your stomach, you can actually build up your core muscles with ab work. It's like any other muscle. You can have hypertrophy in that area as well. In your arms, a lot of ladies want to tighten this area up on their triceps, so working on some tricep movements, trying to build up that muscle mass will help. Is running on the treadmill for over an hour a day good for losing weight? There you go. So you don't want to do too much cardio when you're trying to lose weight, or that can happen. So you don't want to take away cardio altogether. A little bit of cardio here and there is actually going to help you out. But like I said a minute ago, you want to not only do cardio on a treadmill or whatever you're doing it on, but you want to do it on, you want to add resistance training on top of that. So, all right. Are trainers expensive? It depends. So you kind of see trends in different regions of the country. If you go down to Florida, a personal trainer is going to be more expensive than it is here in West Virginia. If you go to New York, same thing. Go to California. Those big states, you're paying a decent amount of money for a trainer, but at the same time, you get what you pay for. So you'll see a lot of these private contracting trainers charging $100 a session, but you know, they've kind of built up their clientele to where they can charge that, and they have enough experience to where their clients are building up so much because they're making progress with their goals. So just like with any other service, you pretty much get what you pay for. I know sometimes that can be scary because sometimes you don't really know much about the trainer that you're going to work with. So I always recommend getting to know the person before you go and work with them. Get to know the trainer's background a little bit, and kind of get a little bit of info on them just to make sure you're comfortable with paying the amount that you're paying. Let's see. If my muscles do not hurt, is something wrong? Not necessarily. Going into a workout, if you're going to learn a new exercise, your muscles are probably going to be sore. But on top of that, you don't always want to be sore. You want to work up to a point to where you're not as sore as what you used to be when you first started. So your body adapts to that external stimulus, and it gets better at recovering, so you're recovering a lot faster and you actually don't get as sore even though you're putting in the same amount of work. You also want to take into consideration kind of like a deload workout or a deload week even, to where you're not going at as high as an intensity as what you usually do, to kind of give your muscles a break. You can still go in there and do a little bit of stuff, but every now and then some time off for some low intensity exercise is okay. So your muscles shouldn't be sore all the time. And if they're not sore, that doesn't mean that you didn't do anything. Can you take in too much water? Yes, you can. So too much of anything can be bad or can be fatal. You know, you can actually die from drinking too much water. So you see these guys walking around with these gallon jugs, and it's not really necessary. Your body has a great filtration system. So my recommendation, drink whenever you're thirsty. Your body's also really good at telling you when you need water. So yeah, drink whenever you're thirsty. You don't really need to be carrying around that gallon of water. What exercise can you do to get a big butt? So we talked about this one in our live Q&A the other day, and actually Anthony said something interesting. The two best exercises that he said to build your butt are hill sprints and regular sprints. So you could do those. Hip thrusts, if they're performed correctly, are a very popular one. A leg press, if performed properly. A squat, if you're getting low enough, you want to get really good depth, because underneath that parallel is where you're going to start to activate more of your glutes or more of your butt. A little helpful tip, if you're doing a leg press and trying to focus on your butt, keep all that pressure on your heel. So if you're doing a leg press, if you keep the pressure on your heel, you're going to activate more of that posterior chain, so your butt, and you can build it up that way. So there's a few exercises for you. Are exercises different for men and women? No. So a man and a woman have the same types of muscles. You know, there's not much variation in that. I know a lot of people don't like to get on the little groin machine where you go in and out like that. The pregnant machine is another thing that I heard people call it, but if you ever see me training in Anytime Fitness, I actually put some of my guys in that as well. So you don't want to miss out on any muscle just because you think it's a girly exercise, because I guarantee you, if I put one of you guys on that machine, I can make you scream. That sounded weird. I could make you, what's the best way to put it without sounding weird? Make you sore, no. Burn. Make you burn? Go with that one. That's not as bad. So yeah, so exercises, there's not really any variation from men and women. If someone is extremely overweight, is a trainer worth it? Absolutely. If somebody's overweight, I highly consider a personal trainer, because it seems that you've gotten to this point to where you don't really know what's healthy for you. You don't really know what you need to be doing. So, as a trainer, we can help you out with pointing you in the right direction, making sure you're losing weight safely, making sure you're comfortable and you're learning about what you need to be doing, and you're safe in the gym. So, if you consider yourself highly overweight, a personal trainer is a good thing to consider. Has anyone ever been disappointed with you as a trainer, results-wise? No, fortunately not. Everybody that I've worked with has absolutely loved working out and learning everything. So everybody that I've worked with so far at Anytime Fitness is making the right type of progress, and I feel like they have put their trust in me, and they're not really disappointed at all. They seem to be happy when they're in there. I haven't really talked to most of them outside of the gym. If you are one of my people and you're disappointed, make sure you tell me and we'll try to change things up. So hopefully not. Here we go. Do you ever give up on a client? No, I do not. If somebody's not making progress when they're working with me, I always make sure to change things up. So you don't want to be doing the same things if you're not making progress. So on top of that, on top of not giving up on the progress, I've worked with some people who seem to be giving up on their end. So a big part of it is, motivating them to come back and making sure that they still know how important it is to take their health seriously. So I don't give up on anybody, and if anybody who I work with is thinking about giving up, I always try to, kind of bring them back and reassure them of the direction that they're going. And I'm going to end on this one. Why did you want to be a trainer? Back in the day, I went to West Virginia State University and I wanted to open my own restaurant. So I was a business major, and after learning a little bit about the restaurant biz, I changed my mind and I transferred to Marshall after tearing both my hamstrings playing football, and went to Marshall, switched my major to exercise physiology, and I started working out at a gym called Absolute Fitness in Barboursville, where I met my bodybuilding coach, or soon to be bodybuilding coach, Andrew Wright. And I learned a lot from him. He takes all of his training and nutrition to a very scientific, specific approach. And I learned that was a lot different from a lot of the other trainers out there and a lot of the other coaches. And I found out that all of the movements and the nutrition and exercise, it came very easily to me. So learning all of it from more of an applied aspect, I learned it very easily. So I kept studying and I ended up graduating from Marshall, and I started working as a trainer in Huntington, actually. I worked at a few places. The HIT Center in Huntington, fantastic place. If you're an athlete down in Huntington, check them out, they're really good. I worked at the Marshall Rec. I worked at one of my friends' private studios. Amy Elkins opened a place in Huntington called The Studio, and her and Des is another friend of mine, and they opened up a really cool place, and they let me train there for a little bit. I got a little bit of experience there, but I ended up finding a spot up here in Kanawha City, and Anthony hired me on, and from there I've kind of taken off. It's kind of been a blessing to come up here and seeing all the progress that everybody's had, and seeing all of these new friends and new faces. It's been amazing, and I feel like I've had an amazing opportunity up here, and it's only just begun. So yeah, that's why I became a trainer. I learned it really easily, and after seeing the progress that most of my clients had, it kind of drew me in, and from there it just that's just where the story began. So that's all the questions I'm going to answer today. There are a few more, so like I said, I'm going to make another video answering the rest of these questions that I have. And remember, if you guys have came up with any more, shoot those questions below in the comments. Go ahead and like the video too. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. If you're from Vee's channel, Vee's Views, welcome to the channel. Glad you came over here to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.